Welcome back, everybody. Episode, I think it's 27 we're up to in our F1 Manager career mode. Role-playing as Dario Franchitti, being the boss of AlphaTauri. Got the San Marino Grand Prix up today. And we got a few things that we should be able to do before we head off there. As you can see, our design for our side pods will be complete. The front wing and underfloor might be complete in time for the weekend. That's why I've been saving up the money, because if they are going to be ready, then we are going to rush these two through in order to have some spare parts in case either of our drivers or both of them decide to bin the car at some point in the weekend. So last time out, we had the regulation votes for the minor technical regs, and most of the teams voted in favor of the minor ones. It was just Ferrari, Williams, and us who voted for the major regulation ones. I mainly did that because I wanted to try and mix the grid up, but it looks like pretty much everybody else did not like that idea. So we got the minor one coming in for next year. Our research is unlocked for next season's car already, so we might be able to do something there. But until we get the design for the side pod complete, we're not doing any research because we have maxed out our slots for design/research. So I'll just carry on and we'll see. There you go, the design side pods are done. So let's see what we have. We got 10 days for that. They might be ready, you know. I really hope they're going to be ready. Okay, let's have a look and see if any project we can do. So everything is a minor change. The suspension is usually the easiest one. So what do we got? We got 13 days. Can we do anything in 13 days? We cannot. Alright, so there's no real benefit to do that, I don't think. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We will wait until the next aerodynamic period. But we can create our new side pods. We need at least 4. I think we're going to have to do emergency, eh? We'll make 4 right away. And we will just make 6 normal ones. Actually, we might rush them. A month, yeah, we probably should rush them. I think we will. It'll be cut it down from 42 days to 30. Yep, that sounds like a plan. See what the change, if any, is. And it does a little bit, eh? It doesn't affect acceleration or brake cooling. But everything else seems to go pretty good. Okay, so we will put that on. And I guess we wait and see if the front wing and underfloor will be ready in time. There's the underfloor ready. And the front wing. We are golden. And we're going today, so we know what we're doing. Definitely know what we are doing right now. So we want 4 front wings. We want them to be emergency. And we want underfloors. Also emergency. A lot of money, 3 mil, but I think it's worth it. And I think we'll make a few of these. We just need 6 of them. 18 days, sure. And we'll make some of the underfloors as well. We need 6 of those. It's going to be 30 days. What if we rush it? 18. Yeah, I think we'll do that as well. There we go. So our new front wing will give us a bit of a boost to medium speed cornering and also medium and high speed dirty air cornering. We'll put that on there. Also got a new underfloor. And that is going to give us a pretty decent boost there, huh? Medium and high speed cornering, 3rd and 1st. DRS top speed up to 9th. And medium and high speed dirty air, 5th and 3rd. So really it's just acceleration that we are a bit ordinary in, huh? Acceleration and top speed. That's probably rear wing, I guess. But our cornering is pretty damn good. I'm happy with that. Oh, Claire has gotten in touch with us saying our suspension simulator's in poor condition. We'll see if we can refurbish that. A lot of money, 3.3 mil, but I think it'll be alright for us. We got the cash, just 1.5 mil remains. Okay, so I think we are all good. We have put our performance targets in for this weekend. So I think I will catch you in San Marino.
The hills of Tuscany are green to the south, but here in Imola the air is red hot. Welcome to Ferrari's turf for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The track has been around since the 60s, but the first official Formula One race was held here in 1980. Let's see what excitement lies ahead this year. This is Imola, and it's an old school track with plenty of elevation changes and lots of corners. There's only one DRS zone here, but it follows the long straight right before Tamburello and should see plenty of action. At this early stage in the season, there are still plenty of opportunities for things to change. In this sport, there simply are no guarantees. Okay then, let's get to it.
Looks like we're going to have some rain for Friday, but the weekend should be all good. We will see how that goes. Be interesting to see exactly how our new parts go. They worked pretty good for us in the very first race of the season. We had a bit of a setback at Saudi Arabia, and then another bounce back race in Melbourne. If that trend continues, this one could probably be a tough day for us, but I'm hoping with those 3 new parts on the car, we should have a pretty good one. Let's find out, eh?
Understood.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. Dear me, they won't have been expecting that.
Yellow flag. Okay.
We can take a look now. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin. And there we see the crash.
Yellow flag 15. Yellow 15.
Understood.
Here's the replay. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here. Thank goodness nobody else was involved. That was a big crash.
The brakes are really poor.
Yeah, copy that.
We can take a look now. Now look at this, it's Pierre Gasly. There's the crash. Our race weekend continues as we head into FP3 and then qualifying. Drivers will need to perform with remarkable consistency if they're to secure a strong position on tomorrow's grid. It's not just about one moment of brilliance. No, they'll need to prove over the course of qualifying that they have what it takes to occupy those coveted places. So here we are, ready to resume.
Yellow flag.
Yep, understood.
Here's the replay. Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel. A definite collision there. That's very unfortunate.
At the end of all 3 practice sessions, we topped them all. Went 1-2 in FP 1, 2 and 3. And I think we have a pretty good shot here of definitely the top 2 rows. In FP3, everybody except us, I think one of the Alpines, and I want to say one of the Alfa Romeos, were on softs, and we were on the mediums, and we were about, I think Pierre was about 1.5 tenths off, and Daniel was a couple tenths behind that. And the delta for the medium to the soft is 3 tenths. So I think Pierre might be looking pretty good here for maybe a front row spot, but hopefully a second row. And Ricciardo is not that far behind him, he's only a couple tenths. In FP1 the gap was bigger because I stupidly didn't check Ricciardo's fuel level, and he came in a lap early, so he didn't actually set a representative time at the end. Pierre did manage to set a lap, so I think Ricciardo probably lost out maybe 0.5 tenth to 1 tenth. So he's basically been 2 tenths behind Pierre this weekend. The rain did come down in FP2. There were no incidents in practice 3. There were a couple in practice 1 and 2. The only real one of note was, or the only real one that concerned us, was Pierre going off in the damp conditions in practice 2. Towards the end of the session, he nudged the wall and caused some minor damage to his front wing, which we just replaced at his pit stop anyway. But other than that, I think a Alfa Romeo might have gone off. I think a Haas went off. I thought one of the Ferraris did, but I could be wrong about that. I'm sure I will have shown the replays, so we'll be able to see exactly who it was that wrecked out, but I'm pretty happy with those 3 practice sessions. So let's see if that good form carries over to qualifying. Right, so it is tight at the top. Verstappen's got 1.5 tenths on Pierre, and then 0.5 tenth back to Perez, and it's pretty close. I mean, between Perez and Fernando, you've got less than 2 tenths. So 6 cars separated by 2 tenths there. That's not too shabby. If Ricciardo can find, you know, 1 tenth, he will be on row 2, and that's going to be the critical factor. If he can find that time, Not overly worried about Pierre. I think he's looking pretty good there. But the main question is whether Danny Rick can find enough time to get us both guys probably on the second row. Guys who got knocked out, no real surprises, both Astons, both Williams and Yuki in the McLaren. Once again, slower than Latifi in the Haas. Let's see what Q2 brings. So there we go. In qualifying 2, Danny Rick was able to find that 10th I was talking about and jumps up to P4. We went out on the old set of tyres at the start of the session and then a brand new set at the end. Probably didn't need to go out again, but I wanted to see exactly how we're going. So it looks like it could be a pretty close race, huh? I think it's going to depend on the start. George did a good job there at the end because he was actually out and managed to find just enough time to kick out Bottas there. 100th of a second or so. 5 that miss out, including Bottas. You got both Haas's, the other Alfa of Vettel, and Lando in the McLaren. We'll see what we can do in qualifying 3, but hopefully we can get Pierre and Daniel on the first 2 rows, and that'll set us up pretty nicely for the race, I'd say. I'll catch you at the end of it. Well, there we go. Danny Rick was able to improve in all 3 sessions, and we are going to be starting right behind Verstappen. P2 and P3, so it's a Red Bull sponsored top 4. But of course, 2 of them are using Honda power, and 2 of them are using the hometown Ferrari power around Imola. So that's our best qualifying in the series so far. In the end, Pierre was about half a tenth off, and Ricciardo just found enough time to push Perez down to P4. I'm very happy with that. Then you got the 2 Ferraris, 5th and 6th, Lewis P7 there, Alonso P8, Russell in the other Mercedes P9, and Ocon in the other Alpine P10. Actually, I lie. I think our best position was a rain-affected race last season, wasn't it? I think we might have started at the front because we timed the weather right. But this is our best dry quali. So we're going to see what the race brings for us. I think we got a couple options. We did save 2 sets of the softs, so we could go and use both of those and a set of the mediums, or alternatively we could just go with the soft and hard compound. We know that the hards are about half a second a lap slower than the softs, but they will probably last to about lap 45 or 50, which would get us home on the 1 stop. So I don't know exactly what we should do yet, but we'll figure out a pretty good strategy, I think, and we shall see what we have.
It's race day with the teams and drivers ready and raring to go.
Qualifying turned squarely to AlphaTauri's advantage this weekend. They're in an excellent position to do brilliantly here during the race. It was a pleasure to watch Red Bull's excellent performance during qualifying. Their drivers will now be looking ahead to the race itself and hoping to capitalize. The weather is very overcast here, and teams are staring at the sky watching for the first sign of rain. Strategies might have to be quite flexible going into today's race.
And seeing it all come together is sure to be a thrill. An exciting race ahead for us here at the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. A somewhat overcast day for the drivers who've now taken position on the grid. And there we have Pierre Gasly. They're in second place on the grid, but that could so easily change in the first few seconds of the race. The second AlphaTauri driver there. Starting in third place, they're in a really good position for this race. Everything's been building to this. The crowd are on their feet in anticipation of this, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
So it looks like a lot of people are on mediums. Verstappen's starting on hards. Gonna see if we can get around him. I guess he's gonna go hards to soft, maybe. The strategy we thought about doing. Need to get our boys around him though, eh? Ricardo having a look. Ricardo is through. Now we need to pull away.
That's a position gained for AlphaTauri.
Having a look around the outside. I don't know if he's going to get him. Okay, we're going to go overtake here.
Use overtake.
Copy.
Didn't quite get there. I'm going to tell him to drive in clean air, see if we can get a run here. Oh, he might have a nose there. And he does. Alright, so we are through. And we're also going to deploy here. We're going to go back to aggressive
Energy if you need it.
on the tyres.
Copy.
Because we kind of need Verstappen to drop off.
DRS in name.
We're just going to push, I think. Alright, now we're going to go neutral on this, and hopefully we have the pace. We have the better tyre. We are pushing a little bit. Ricardo probably doesn't need to, so I'm going to go back to standard for this and we'll rely on engine power, I think. And hopefully we can keep Max at bay. It's a bold call going onto the hards now. I guess he could potentially go onto a set of the mediums later. So I think, you know what, no, we're going to go...
Okay, happy to lift and coast.
We'll keep pushing on the engine, but we'll try and save a tiny bit of tyre, I think. See what we can do. We can maintain that gap at around 2 seconds, or even pull away, then that'll be amazing. I think we will go a little bit more aggressive now on the tyre anyway. We'll see what we can do. We can pull away a little bit. Leclerc has gotten around Max now, and he's on the same tyre as us. So we're going to have to go a little bit. Max gets back around him.
Looks like there's been a lockup. Let's have a look. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here. And there's the lockup. It almost got away from them entirely. And that was a bitter blow for the team. And it may have really hurt their overall chances.
Not good for K-Mag there. But we are doing alright. We're just pushing away. Our tyres are not as good as the Ferraris though. Max is still right there, a second and a half behind now. We need to make sure that he does not get within DRS of us. He gets within DRS, then it's all over, I think. I think it's all over. Max is there. Alright, so we are now in our pit window. Science is in. Max has a look at Pierre, doesn't manage it. So what is our optimal lap here? We're still a couple laps away, going by that. What, lap 26, 27, something like that? So where is Science rejoin? Science is going to rejoin around Lando. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to tell him, don't fight your teammate now. I'm going to swap him around because Pierre does have a little bit more fuel. So I think we'll let Pierre go here. And we will try to... Okay, there we go. So now don't fight teammate. So now we are going to try and save Ricciardo a little bit of engine here. I'd like to know what tyres he's going on to. He is on a set of the hards by the looks of that, eh? So where's he rejoin? He's going to be in clean air, which is critical for him. He's cleared Vettel and Sainz. So I think we're going to just go for what we can, because the longer we can go, the more we'll be able to push on that harder compound tyre, particularly than what Charles can right now. Gasly's probably going to have to pit next time by. Ricciardo's probably still good for another lap. The question is going to be, where exactly are we going to emerge in relation to Charles? He's gained a second on us in 2 laps. Actually, no, we need to fend him off, don't we? We'll go push for Ricciardo right now. So in comes Pierre. Ricciardo will get DRS. We need to figure out where he's going to be in relation to Charles. He gained about a second and a half on us. Away he goes. 2.9 second stop, not terrible. Charles is at the start-finish line now. He's still trundling away. Here he comes. He might have just stayed in front of him, you know. No, there he goes. Okay, so he needs to somehow get with Charles. Alright, so back to Ricciardo. And he is going to stop this time by.
And box.
We're going to go all aggressive, I think, right now. We may as well use
Now the tyres are happy to push.
our energy.
Use energy if you need.
Yep, understood.
Okay. In comes Ricciardo.
Okay, then you'll pit lane.
Copy. So use pit limiter.
2.95, a little bit slower. So he's going to be behind them. So now we're going to have to tell Ricciardo to push. Been a pretty good race for us. Of course, Max will be on the better tyre soon.
Oh, we've had a spin. Let's take a closer look. Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris. And that spin is undoubtedly going to cost them time.
I'm curious if Max is going to go on the mediums or the softs. If he goes softs, then I think we're in trouble. But if he goes mediums, we'll probably be alright. So Charles is doing the business for us. Remember, it was 25 seconds. And now it's down to 21.5. We're on the exact same tyre, but we have fresher rubber. We're just going to chill with Charles, who is... Okay, now he is there. So now I think we're going to tell Pierre to see if he can go. So we're going to go a little bit here. And we're also going to tell Ricciardo to do the exact same. So we're going to go on overtake.
Push now.
Understood.
And he manages it. And he stays within DRS of Pierre, I think. Yes, he has. Okay, so now we're going to go back to neutral for that. I'm going to see if we can keep Ricciardo in range of Pierre. So far he's not, is he? Oh, he is a little bit. Never mind. I wonder if we can pull away from Charles. Charles is still there. I wonder if we have enough pace to pull away from him. You know what? I think we're going to try it. Let's try it. We'll push for a lap on these tires. And we shall try. Actually, we will tell him to don't fight your teammate. Whoops. And we will see if we can pull out a little bit of a gap to Charles. Get him outside DRS range. If we can do that, then that's going to be amazing.
Car in the wall.
Come on, crash.
Understood.
I think we managed it.
There's been a crash. Here's the replay. Right, watch this. There's Schumacher. They've lost control, and there's the crash.
We are a second and a half up now on Charles. Alright, so we are going to go back on the engine, I think, right now. So we're going to go back on this. And we'll go back to neutral. And now that we are a second and a half clear, we're going to tell him don't fight him.
Is that a lockup? Let's see what happened there. Now watch this. Here's the moments involving Albon. It's a lockup, and that could be costly.
Okay, you know what? I'm just going to push on this, I think, on the engine for Pierre. We'll save a little bit with Ricciardo. And we'll see if that will enable us to pull away from Charles even more while keeping Ricciardo in DRS range. That'd be nice if we can do that. Yeah, we are under 12 seconds to Verstappen now, and he is still going. So we've halved that gap in about 10 laps. He's coming up to the end of lap 43, so there'll be 20 to go. I do actually want to watch that if he pits. And he does. Alright, so in comes Max. Let's see what he goes on to. He's going to be way behind. It is a set of the softs. He's going to be about half a second a lap quicker than us. He's behind Charles. Just in front of Lewis by the looks of that, huh? Alright, so he's 10 seconds behind Leclerc. Alright. So at... well, what do we got? So we've got 13 seconds on him. So if he goes at half a second a lap, he's not going to get there. A second and a lap will get there. Alright, well, we'll just have to wait and see, I think. I'm going to monitor that interval. Go back to Pierre and Danny. Right now, I'm not concerned. We've got good enough tyre wear. I mean, it'll be close, but I think we'll be fine right now. We don't have to push yet. And of course, the further into the race we get, the more worn his tyres are going to get, right? There's Charles.
Crashed out. We can take a look now. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here.
Not been a good day for K-Mag, eh? He had an off earlier.
And there we see the crash.
I think at the same spot, didn't he? So Verstappen is fastest lap so far. You know what? I think we're going to push the engine a little bit here. May as well. See if we can hold that gap a little bit to Max, eh? We might try and save some tyre. Maybe. If we can. I'm tempted to tell Pierre to let him through, but the problem with that is we've said first and second in the order of Pierre and Ricciardo, so I'm going to leave them be right now. Leclerc and Verstappen are fighting away. Verstappen has gotten around him. Of course, AlphaTauri have never had a 1-2. And I think we're going to tell our boys to push on the tyres now. No point, I don't think. The longer we can keep Verstappen out of DRS range, the better. He is now in range. Okay, so I think we're going to watch this now. So we're going to set this to defend for both of our boys. So what is Verstappen's tyres on? 35%. The ours are good, so you know what, I'm just going to say go all out attack on the tyres now, boys. If we can defend here, then I think we're home free. I don't think he's going to be able to have the grip to get around us here. No DRS, sorry, no ERS for either of them. Ricciardo gets DRS on his teammate.
Last lap now. We need to charge it.
I'm going to keep it on defend. And I think we're going to watch Ricciardo and hopefully he can hold off his former teammate. This will be huge for us. We've got a tiny bit of a gap on him, eh? Halfway around the lap, and I think we are good. I don't think Verstappen's going to be able to do it. Put up a valiant effort, but I think we're going to hang on here. Because I think the DRS is after the start-finish line. The activation point, so I think we're going to do it. Which will be huge for us. Here we go, come up to the line. There it is.
Checkered flag. I'm really pleased with all of you. Fantastic work.
And it's Gasly, first over the line, and today's winner. Let's take a closer look. Pierre Gasly finishes in first place.
I don't think anyone could be disappointed with a race like that. A consummate professional through and through.
Our first 1-2, Perez gets fastest lap, 25 seconds behind. And Lewis is going to get the last point.
Well, this weekend, Pierre Gasly flew us to the stars. This podium is a brilliant reward for everyone's hard work over the weekend. The Frenchman was in sublime form today, fully deserving of his podium finish here. But remember, it's not just about today's trophies, it's the points that can make all the difference. I think AlphaTauri will be very pleased with that result.
I wouldn't be surprised if the team's performance today won them a lot of new fans.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
Coming up next, the teams will be taking a trip to the Sunshine State. The Hard Rock Stadium is laying down the track for a captivating race at the Miami Grand Prix.
Okay, so there we go. Sergio Perez does get the fastest lap there. No points for that, of course, so no real need for it. Our first 1-2. What a drive from both our boys, huh? Started second and third, respectively, on the grid. Able to fend off a charging Max Verstappen at the end there. To round out the podium, Leclerc P4, 9 seconds behind that. Perez about, 7 seconds behind there, and he just fended off Lewis for that final couple of points there. Alonso, first man out of the points, beat home Carlos Sainz there, P8 for the Spaniard, the other Spaniard. Russell P9 for Mercedes, pretty bit disappointed with that, I'd say. Be again behind Lewis by some margin, eh? About 8 seconds. Yeah, pretty ordinary weekend for George, I think. Ocon P10, Vettel some 30 seconds behind and just beat out Bottas by 3 seconds. Lando first man a lap down. Tsunoda P14, Latifi 15th. Stroll 16th, Guan Yu 17th, Albon 18th, Magnussen 19 after a terrible day for him. Had to stop 3 times there, I see. One was his normal pit stop, the other 2 were for new front wings, I'd say. And then Mick Schumacher rounds out the field in last. Drivers' Championship, Pierre Gasly takes the lead over Verstappen by a solitary point there. Ricciardo stays P4, gains a little bit of ground on Charles, and manages to pull away from Sergio and Lewis there. Alonso up 4 spots to P9. In the Constructors' Championship, we gain maximum points for our race here at Imola, and we gain 10 points on Red Bull, which puts us 7 points clear. There you go. Ferrari pick up a couple points there with Charles, stay P3, Mercedes stay 4th. They're the only 4 teams to score points, and Alpine jump Alfa Romeo. Money-wise, we gain $2 million there because we had to pay out our guys for finishing in the top 10. This is why I wanted to pay them for a higher position, because I knew that we'd have a real good car, but hey, they didn't want it, so we can't do that. I'll take the 2 mil though. That's what our Team Hub refurbishment has done. It's gone back from 48% up to 60, gained an extra point in morale now up to 5, and team attractiveness goes up from 28 to 35. That's really good. The new aerodynamic testing period begins today, so we'll decide next episode what we want to do with our research for next year's car. Monthly development report saying our engine cooling could be better. Yes, that seems to be the main concern we have. Engine and brakes is where we are pretty meh at. Likewise on the top speed, but fortunately top speed is not everything. I think we can fix that. I think it's going to be rear wing, really, which will affect that. So we'll see if we can improve that a bit, huh? Patrick Stafford saying that the board watched the race and could not be happier that we led the team to victory. Increased the board's confidence in me immensely and will guarantee your job security and funding in the seasons to come. The board are delighted with that. They now have high confidence in our leadership as team principal. Now, board review is coming up in 3 months. So let's put the development point into Pierre here. We're going to go defending, because that seems to be what he needs to work on still. But as I said, in the next episode we will decide what we want to do with our new aerodynamic testing period. Probably be a good idea to get a head start on next year's car, like what we did last year. But we also need to see if we can maintain this year's car, because we might be in the hunt for a championship here. Wouldn't that be something pretty cool to do, huh? Win the championship in our 2nd season. That'd be amazing. But we are only 4 races of 22 into the season, so still a long way to go. But right now, we are looking pretty good. I think we have the best driver pairing, and the car is certainly a good one that the boys have put together. But I'm guessing once we hit Miami, a few of the other teams will probably have some parts of their own, so they'll probably be able to jump us again. I'm expecting a pretty tough race in Miami, but we'll find out in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you liked the video, you can hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, feel free to hit the subscribe button. If you want to leave a comment, go right ahead. This is Mystic Tez signing off. See you later.